Alright, stream's up. Well, stream's been up for a bit, actually. Hopefully, sound is okay. It looks like the players are drafting. Of course, this is a draft-based tournament. Andarel looks like he won the coin toss, so we'll draft first. Picked an unknown character. Teketria picked 2 unknown characters in response. And Andarel will get to pick 2, and then Teketria will get to pick 1. And then they will decide the order, of course, and things will move on from there. So the match will be starting in just a couple minutes, if not earlier. Alright, looks like characters have been picked. For Andarel, it's going to be Milia, Gold Lewis, and Propeller Knight. And for Teketria, it's going to be Leo, Soul, and a third character. Unfortunately, we missed who that third character was. Andarel, I believe... Actually, we casted both these guys last week. So Andarel, I believe, picked Gold Lewis and Milia, but has swapped the Polar for a Propeller. Teketria... I actually don't know who. I think Teketria picked Soul because I was casting with Zane and he was going crazy about the Soul. It looks like it's gonna be a Leo and a Potemkin on the side of Teketria. And it looks like matchups are set. It's gonna be Gold Lewis versus Soul for game 1, Propeller versus Leo for game 2, and Milia versus Potemkin for the rubber match should there be one. But these players are 1-0 in the Backyard Brawl bracket. Of course, that is the name of the tournament. This is the Backyard. I'm going to keep doing that. The Backyard Brawl. No, it's the Backyard Brawl run in the Breakfast Club. Apologies for the tongue twister there. This is the first long-form tournament to feature the Guilty Gear Strive, the board game characters. For those of you maybe coming along with the advent of that. Of course, this game has more than just Guilty Gear Strive characters. We have some characters from other anime fighting games. So we have Shovel Knight characters, etc. But the game's already started. Looks like it's going to be Andarel, the bottom half of your screen, the red side, with the Gold Lewis. Gold Lewis just is a big boy with a big hand. Also has a non-standard deck size. Has 8 different Behemoth Typhoons alongside 2 Ultras. So his big boy deck into Soul Bad Guy. Soul Bad Guy also actually has a non-standard deck size. Both these characters are relatively big melee threats, although probably Soul wants to be maybe a little bit closer than Gold Lewis in this matchup, if I had to guess. So we're going to be seeing maybe a lot of brawling in this matchup. Soul, of course, gets additional power when he cancels. Gold Lewis will get additional card draw on backside once he exceeds with his specials. But yeah, Gold Lewis starts out with a hand of 7, of course. And it's going to be boosting Brute Strength, that's +2 power hit gain advantage. Threatening something like an EX Dive or the EX Behemoth Typhoon Slam at range 4. And that's exactly what's being thrown out here from Andarel. It's the EX Dive, but Teketria says, I'm just going to block it. Initiates the offensive block. I think this is not the first time we've seen Teketria do this. So it's going to be an 8 power EX Dive incoming. Soul just blocks, will spend 2 force and take 2 damage. So a little bit low on cards early, but mitigates the threat of the +2 power. It is once again going to be Gold Lewis's turn, however, since that was an offensive block initiation from Teketria. On the blue side of your screen, sorry, top half. I don't think I actually ever finished that sentence. Gold Lewis, 1/2 of the way to his exceed. Soul with Gauge is definitely where you want to be with Soul, right? Because Soul needs Gauge to cancel, and he needs to cancel to get those big red numbers. But it's going to be Gold Lewis initiating another strike here at range 1. There are some mid-speed options. Something like a Hurl is a 6 power mid-speed option. So Gold Lewis also has an Ignore Guard option, speed 3, and an Ignore Armor option at speed 2 with defenses as well. So a little bit of a tricky thing, right? You can't just mash like a sweep or a focus if you're Soul bad guy here, because he does have options to blow it up. But in fact, it's just going to be the Behemoth Typhoon Swing Undercurve. Will go first. Will hit for 3 after armor at speed 6. Soul basically plays his special sweep, like in the Night Raid Vortex, will hit back for 4. Gold Lewis gains advantage and immediately exceeds. So now we have Andarel having his specials have hit draw 2. On the other hand, Soul bad guy builds up gauge number 2. This is starting to become scary. Needs to prep though, and yeah, does just that. Needs cards to cancel, right? But yeah, both players looking pretty good early on. Gold Lewis with the early exceed, Soul with the early 2 gauge. Last week we saw Teketria actually really struggle to build the gauge, so it's really good to see him come out swinging as far as the gauge is concerned. It's going to be Andarel initiating a strike. It's going to be that smash. Wild Swing Volcanic Viper will actually go first. We'll hit for 1 after armor, and then the smash will hit back for 2. However, the smash has hit draw 2 after draw 2, so Andarel draws 4 cards off that combat. Looking to build maybe some early EXs. I mean, just overwhelm the opponent with hand size is how Gold Lewis generally tends to operate. It's going to be Soul bad guy boosting +4 guard. Normally that is gauge number 3 for Soul. Soul can actually go for a really early exceed. When Soul exceeds, which is not something you see super often, just because canceling is just so good on front side. When Soul exceeds, he gets +2 power. Well, it's going to be Andarel initiating another strike here, so it's just going to be focus. It's going to be the Wild Throw. So the Wild Throw will go first, hit for 5. However, focus, while its armor is ignored, still has 5 guards, so will hit back for 4. Of course, the pull does not work because it was an offensive focus from Gold Lewis. Gold Lewis, even though that wasn't special, Soul, of course, draws a card off the focus. That's going to be 4 gauge for Soul bad guy now. I am shocked. I wonder if Soul bad guy exceeds. The Soul bad guy does not exceed. That's very interesting. So see, Soul, interesting. Saves gauge here. It initiates assault into Behemoth Armor Crush. So assault will go first, hit for 4. The crush will hit back for 5. Crush will draw 2 for Gold Lewis as well. Soul gains advantage. I wonder if we see something like a boost, cancel, exceed. Which is kind of what I wanted to see from Soul, just because it's pretty early in the game. Instead, we're going to see a badass cancel Wild Swing. It's going to be a Wild Swing EX Night Raid Vortex, which will hit for 5. Gold Lewis, of course, will block, and will almost certainly mitigate all that damage just because he has a billion force. And yeah, that just happens right there. Both players at about 15 HP. Yeah, just as we expected, just a big Brawl versus Brawl matchup here, right? Although I'm shocked to see Soul bad guy not exceed, maybe saving gauge for ultras. I know Tyrant Rave is a good ultra, right? It's a DP shape, meaning it's above curve at range 2. Heavy Mob Cemetery, I guess, draws you a bunch of cards, but it's a little bit unsafe without a card like without a boost like maybe +2 armor or badass or faultless defense on Spike for +4 guard. Anyway, it's going to be Andarel boosting badass of his own into a strike. This is a one. It's just an on-curve cross at 4 power. Unfortunately, Tyrant Rave is not going to do the job, so we're going to have to Wild Swing again for Soul. And yeah, unfortunately for Soul, both Night Raid Vortexes were already down, so there's actually no way to trade with this cross. It's going to be 4 power cross, although 2 power that will get mitigated by the focus. Soul draws a card but takes 2 damage and now finds himself at range 4. Notably, Gold Lewis is out of EX Dive at range 4, but I think both players will need some time to refuel here. As yeah, Teketria preps. Gold Lewis at range, only 4 cards. Technically has an ultra that does hit here, the burn down. That's a sketchy ultra to play in this position, in my opinion. In fact, Gold Lewis says, don't need to prep. I'm actually just going to change cards here. Change cards 3 from Gage, drawing 4. Teketria preps once more. Now he has a handful of 7. Gold Lewis has a hand of 8. So it's now Gold Lewis's turn. Soul Bad Guy with 4 Gage here, so I'm wondering what's going to happen. Anyway, it's going to be a huge boosted by Gold Lewis into a strike. Range 3 mix-up threatened here at range 4. It's going to be the Behemoth Typhoon Rise and above curve option. It's going to be 5 total power. Pushing Soul Bad Guy to range 6. And drawing 2. And drawing 3, excuse me. Did they push 2? Did they push 2? Or is... Oh, pulled one off the boost. Okay, I see. Got it. Thank you. Drunk Crunk Franken, welcome to the stream. Oh yeah. They were pulled one. Anyway, it's gonna be Soul performing a bunch of cancels here. Advance 3, cancel area shift, cancel range 1 again. So initiating with +1 power. Basically every option is up except for the 1-4 sweep. Gold Lewis probably responding with EX Grasp here. Yeah, is the EX Grasp, is the Wild Throw, and Wild Throw only has 3 guards, so that gets stunned out by EX Grasp. Oh no, that is so unfortunate. That's Gold Lewis, man. Gold Lewis just draws a bunch of cards. Sometimes he has a defensive EX on deck, and that defensive EX crushes the only 3 guard that Wild Throw has. So that's going to be 4 damage incoming. Soul down to just 9 HP. And yeah, that's tough. That's also the second Wild Throw down, so that part of the mix-up is also down for Soul. Unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate. It's going to be a badass cancel into a strike. It's going to be the swing on curve. Swing will go first, hit for 4. At the very least, sweep will hit back for 5, but Gold Lewis draws, 2 cards. He'll discard 1, but gets advantage. And yeah, just like I said, just using that massive card advantage to just run Soul slowly out of options. Once again, it is going to be Gold Lewis's turn off the advantage off the swing. And can Gold Lewis just finish the game off right here? It's going to be the Kiss of Death boosted, +1 power, +1 speed. Now spending 2 force to strike. Soul just wild swings again. It's gonna be the 1-7-6 shape that we see Andarel throw this shape around a lot. This kind of grapplery shape, 1-7-6, beats the wild swing gunflame, and that's gonna be game number 1 going to Andarel here. Able to out Brawl Soul just courtesy of the sheer amount of card draw that Gold Lewis gets, I think. Right. And Teketria was down to wild swinging a lot there, but definitely that EX Grasp at near the end was a big swing as well. But anyway, this is the best of 3 tournament. However, both characters are going to be retired for the set. That was game 1 going to Gold Lewis. But we have 2 more games left. Next one is going to be Leo Whitefang. Leo, I don't think is a character I have seen before in Miller. Yeah, that is exactly what's happening. Yes, but Leo's not a character I've seen before on stream. So it should be an interesting one. Propeller Knight is, of course, the character that we've seen tons of times. For those of you that don't know, maybe you are coming in fresh with the Guilty Gear Strive the board game. These characters are compatible with other seasons of Exceed. So we're going to see a match here of Andarel rocking the Propeller Knight into Leo Whitefang. Leo Whitefang is he's definitely a character. We'll take a look at his kit here, I guess. Basically, on backside, when he flips, he has +1/+1 wild swings, and he reverts when he doesn't strike. So proper gorilla. So we take a look at Leo's kit here. He has kind of like a fast dive here. Although, like, so a lot of these have, like, when you advance past the opponent, you get an additional bonus. In Leo's case, it's Succeed at no cost. Blitzschlag, which becomes just an absolutely monster shape when you wild swing it, right? Because it becomes a 6-speeder. Eisensturm, which reverts you for some reason. I don't really get that, but it's a focus shape, so it's not a bad card. We have a slow fireball here, 525 on the stats. We have a counter-attacking move here in the con shield. We have Stahl Werble, who's in theory stats can just be absolutely wild. It's like, just look at that, can get up to 10, 20 speed. But look at those boosts as well. Wild Swing's at +2 power, +2 speed. It's a little bit of a Wild Swing character. So let's see how Propeller Knight's able to do this. Propeller Knight, of course, a little bit of a dancer on the field, maybe akin to like a fencer type character. All about that movement. If the opponent's at maximum range, specials and ultras get +2 power. And we'll take a look at Probar's kit in a bit. Actually, we'll take a look at it later. But it's going to be Leo, turn 1 boosting the Let's Rock. Range 4 options that Leo has includes an above curve Zweitskaltzgestober. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Don't think I am, but or could just be the slow fireball, or could be the technically could be that, or could just be dive. Now, Propeller himself does have a lot of range 4 options. He has the above curve Headwind. He has the ignore armor option, the Cannonball. Has the sweep like in the Propeller pull as well. So both these players are actually representing quite an interesting mix-up here at range 4. It's actually going to be Teketria, Andarel boosting the Fierce here at range 4, +2 power. Last time we saw Teketria just initiate an offensive block, although I don't think that's going to be happening with the Let's Rock already committed. It's not going to be saying, okay, let's bring things close. Going to be boosting Dash to move into range 1. Back to Propeller here. Propeller does have some interesting range 1 options. For example, Swoop is just on curve. Saber Lunge is a bit of a mid-speed here, so a little bit under curve, but functions similarly to like a reverse cross, right? Instead of retreating, you just advance out of the way of enemy attacks. Propeller Pull is still a card that also works here, range 1 as well. But instead it's going to be the Windstream boosted, so it's going to be +3 power with before push 1 or 2. Interesting, very interesting. And we're actually just going to see the Brynhildr stance boosted, exceed at no cost. Add this to your gauge, take another action. Wild Swing's at +1/+1, and Leo says, let's let this swing. So it's actually going to be the Zweitskaltzgestober that we called out earlier, which is going to be 5 total power. At 6 speed going first. Focus will not stun it, and Leo advances to the corner. Andarel has a before push 1 or 2, which actually does not matter anymore, because Leo finds himself in the corner and will get hit back for 7. As Andarel draws a card, Leo builds a whole bunch of gauge off that, and it's Leo's advantage. And of course, Leo will continue to be in this very scary stance until he ends a turn without striking. And it looks, well, Stoltz can actually be cancelled. Draw 2, you may place a card from your hand on top of your deck, and then this is surely going to be cancelled into the Wild Swing. So this is a curated Wild Swing here from Teketria. Andor just Wild Swings himself. It's going to be the Blitzschlag, the 1-3-5-6 that we talked about. 1-3-6-6, excuse me. That is a super scary card. Propeller Pull actually performs quite well into that, right? So Propeller Pull will hit back for 6. So it's going to be just 6 for 6 here. Although Andarel can technically hit for 4 and force a hand discard, I don't think he's going to be doing that. Probably wants to keep Leo in the corner. Does not want to pull. Makes sense to me. Blitzschlag, of course, will have Leo gain advantage once more. And wow. Didn't realize this character had a 1-3-6-6 on Wild Swing. That is just absolutely insane. What? Wow. That is so crazy. Anyway, that's going to be 6 damage back to Leo, courtesy of the UA of Propeller, adding +2 power to the Propeller Pull. Con Shield boosted as Hail to the King. Now draw 2, stun immunity, and we'll go again with the Wild Swing. So for Leo, I think pretty sure everything hits here except for Grasp. So very cool character. Style Warble, Wild Swing here. So Teketria will draw 1. So I'm pretty sure Teketria did not draw one. They're just rectified just like that. Says, well, I don't want you to know that it's sweep in hands. I'll just draw the next card. So Propeller plays the on-curve cross, which beats the Wild Swing sweep there, dealing 3 damage to Leo. Propeller now finds itself at range 5. We'll probably just exceed here, if I had to guess. Although it doesn't really have to. Maybe you can threaten the ultras, but no. Just going for the exceed side, looks like. Andarel just choosing what cards to exceed with, and yeah. Propeller can move, and actually chooses to retreat to, gets out of the way. Forces Leo to move in, right? Then of course Leo, if he were to end a turn without striking, has to revert as well. This is going to be the area shift. It's going to be cancelled. We're now at range 5. It's going to be the area shift again, pulling Propeller all the way back to range 3. Cancelled once more, and now we're going to be Wild Swinging at range 3. It's going to be the second copy of this Weizskautgestöber, with 4 damage incoming to Andarel's block. Wow. Just pulls him all the way back from downtown into the above curve Gestober. Wild Swing for both players here. It's a scramble. It's a focus scramble. Scramble cancel, excuse me. It's going to be the second copy of the Blitzschlag going first. Will hit for 4 after armor. Andarel Wild Swing's focus, so he will actually get to hit back for 4 as well. Pretty good Wild Swing there for Andarel. But, of course, this gains 2 advantage, of course, because why would it not? So it's going to be Hail to the King boosted for Leo once more. Starting to be now draw 2 into the Wild Swing once more, because, I mean, this character doesn't have enough advantage, I guess. This is just absolutely, again, just another very brawl-heavy character that Teketria has chosen here with the Leo. Propeller has to be a little bit more careful because his red numbers aren't so high. Yeah, just playing the Wild Swing character the way it was designed, right? Just Wild Swing and let the deck decide if you win or lose. It's gonna be Grasp. Ooh, it's gonna be Spike for Leo. So the Grasp will go first. We'll hit for 3. Spike is not stunned, but of course, there's no way Propeller makes that hit. So Leo down to just 7 HP, actually, after all of that. Propeller actually looking kind of beating up Leo a little bit. Big life lead here for Propeller in what has just seemed to be a match of Wild Swing versus, like, Wild Swing, but also not really. And somehow, Propeller has come out on top. It's definitely 2 blocks, I know, that Propeller used. Now an Ultra, like, full broadside becomes lethal. Right? That's definitely a card to watch out for here if you're Teketria. Could also just mid-speed Saber Lunge into something like a launcher. Anyway, it's going to be +1, it's going to be defend boosted for Andarel. Immediate +2 power now strike, and oh no, this does not work out well for either player. Well, I mean, it works out well for Leo, isn't in that Leo doesn't die. It's gonna be he's gonna be diving over, although did commit a Roar of the Lion to it, and unfortunately for Andarel, that Propeller pull will miss because it got dove over. That's actually, yeah, it's actually probably worse for Andarel, seeing how Leo just didn't die to that. Because there's so many like Propeller pull, full broadside just wins so many combats. So it was fortunate for Teketria that he dove over it. It's going to be expenditure of 1 force to boost the launcher, and Propeller says range 7 wasn't far enough last time. Let me move to range 8. And it's going to be the Let's Rock boosted. However, this is a strike This is a turn that did not end in a strike for Leo, so Leo unfortunately has to move back. Apparently they played the long boost. I assume that fly was boosted, but Andarel just played the wrong card. Andarel actually discarded swoop instead of that. That makes a lot more sense. It's gonna be flawless defense boosted plus 4 guard at the start of your turn. Add this to gauge. Kind of say as propeller, hey, you want to strike into this? Just to not deny my gauge. And it's gonna be propeller moving into range 7 and wild swinging. Perhaps a cannonball incoming? No, it's just gonna be assault. And it's gonna be blocked for Teketria. So Teketria does get to build 1 gauge off that, but loses the Let's Rock and the faultless defense. Propeller moves to range 5. Range 5 options for Leo are just the Gravierte Verde. It's gonna be a parry coming out. I think that's the first parry I've ever seen. It's season 7. I think I'd never see season 7 characters parry. I have no idea why. But it's gonna be parry cannonball, the long range option for propeller here. The parry successful. Propeller does have options at range 4, but not at range 5 besides the cannonball. Or technically the ultra, but there's no gauge for it. Wait, it's going to be 4 in hand, 4 in deck for Leo. We're going to see big change cards here for Propeller. Change cards 4, drawing 5. 6 in hand, 7 in deck for Propeller now. So Leo running a little bit low in options, maybe starting to become a little bit more predictable as far as what options are left. Teketria preps. It's going to be the Blade Flourish boosted for Propeller. That's Swift. Very, very good boost. It's going to be Leo dashing into range 2, canceling. Adopts the Brynhilder stance to succeed. Add this to gauge, take another action. Now both players have +1/+1 on the board, except it's going to be a curated wild swing for Leo here. Although it's somewhat known because there are only 5 cards left. Now that gets canceled, and will Teketria boost an ultra to add additional stats to this, right? So it can boost Roar of the Lion or Bared Fangs to add additional stats to this wild swing. But we do know wild swing's coming, almost assuredly. It's just, how does Leo want to play this? Does he need additional speed to beat Propeller? And looks like, yeah. So be additional speed, +2 speed. Only 4 options on what this can be. But this is a +1/+3 from Leo. So it's gonna be Andarel blocking, and it's gonna be the sweep. So it's gonna be 7-power sweep incoming. That's a pretty spicy sweep there. So we see a hand of focus, Leidenschaft, this Dirigenten, sure. Wait, when does Leo have elusive flash? Whatever. Okay, and dive is the hand for Teketria. That's gonna be 7-power sweep incoming. If I had to guess, Andarel blocks all of it. Maybe takes 1 damage with only 4 cards in hand. Drops the full broadside, and yeah, takes 1 damage. Well, this hand is not great, although Leo's hand, of course, will include the top of his deck. And it's going to be Andarel initiating strike here at range 2. Surely Leo just wild swings this. And yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be cross, beating the wild swing Gestober at 6 speed. It's going to be 3 more damage coming to Leo. Leo down to just 4 HP. Range 5 as well. Not a whole lot of force to his name. This is looking pretty bad for Leo, all things considered. Andarel just been all over the trading game. Not allowing Leo to trade. It's blocked multiple attacks. Multiple like big attacks. Looks like it's gonna be an expenditure of 4 force. I think it was 4 force. Maybe it's 5 force. Yeah, I think it's 5 force because there's an ultra in there. Expenditure of 5 force, just the whole hand to draw 6. Including the gauge as well, so no cancels available for Leo at this point in time. Propeller can just move to range 4 and strike with something like launcher. That'll be 5 power. Can move to range 4 and pretend to strike with launcher and really play cannonball. There's a mix up there. Kent just prep a little bit long cards, and yeah, that's what Andarel chooses to do. He preps. Leo, of course, reverts on a turn where he did not strike, so yeah, makes sense. Just something that the players missed, but obviously they would fix that as soon as Leo got to strike. A little bit finicky there, but it's back to Leo here. Range 5, not the best place to be. Can't be at range 4 either. It's got to be range 3 or closer. Range 3 saber. Range 3 reminder. Propeller does have an above curve option in the saber lunge, so it's not just free for Leo to play on curve. He has to play. He has to play above curve. And it's going to be the free boost. It's going to be the pride boost. Excuse me. Advance or retreat 1 or 2. Advances 2. Although now you do have to deal with the range 3 mix up here. It's going to be Andarel coming to range 2 and striking. Wouldn't be surprised if this is a saber lunge. Has exactly 4 power. It's blocked. It's actually the mid speed option, the cannon, the headwind. A little bit under curve here, as opposed to the on curve saber lunge. But headwind has 5 total power here. Leo, of course, just blocks and spends the ultra to take no damage. Down to just 4 HP again, and back to range 4 as well. So good option by Andarel here, just pushing Leo away. And again, you cannot afford to be here with a card like Propeller or Pull. The fourth, or a card like Launcher, 4/3/7. Although Propeller, Pull, good card. Cannonball, good card. Headwind, also good card. It's going to be Leo just prepping, maybe trying to find an option in hand to deal with it. It's going to be Andarel boosting Light. Now the Ignore Armor option, speed 5. And it's going to be Leo boosting Hellfire, +1/+1. Now reveal your hand. So it's going to be a hand of 0/4/7, Con Shield, and Sal Warble. Wow. Pretty spicy. Pretty spicy boost. Reveal your hand. Notably, nothing in that hand deals with +2 speed Cannonball, right? I'm pretty sure nothing in that hand deals with +2 speed Cannonball. Which is the Ignore Armor option for Propeller. Where did Rock get boosted from? Oh, maybe it was cancelled. Okay. Anyway, it's going to be Propeller moving back to range 5 and striking. Almost surely going to be the Cannonball. And yeah, it is Cannonball at speed 5. Dive is not going to do it. Loses the speed tie, and that's going to be Andarel taking game number 2 with the Propeller against the Leo. In a pretty dominant victory overall. Kind of avoided the counterattacks that Leo posed and was able to, trade, right, with the 6 power moves, like the Blitschlag, and was able to counterattack and not get traded in response with cards like Cross. To avoid things. But yeah, that's going to be a 2-0 victory for Andarel over Teketria. Andarel moves to 2-0 in the Backyard Brawl bracket. Teketria is 1-1. I think this is just 5 rounds this tournament, so nothing too fancy. But yeah, I mean, Andarel one step closer to winning that Backyard Brawl title. Player that has not been competing for years, right? Such a long time. I mean, last time, so I started casting this game, 2 years ago? And Andarel is like way before my time. So it's good to see him coming back, kind of wrecking shop thus far. And Teketria also another name that's been around the Exceed community for a while. So this was definitely a clash between two veteran players, and today Andarel definitely came out on top. I don't know if they're going to be playing the game 3. It will be Amelia versus Potemkin for fun. I think last time Andarel won 2-0 and then played the third match as well. Teketria had to play its third match because the score's 1-1. So I don't know if they're going to play their third match or not. So I guess we'll leave the stream running just in case they do. And it looks like they are. It's going to be Andarel with the Milia into Teketria's Potemkin. This is going to be an interesting matchup. I feel like a lot of people have been rating Potemkin as potentially the worst or one of the worst characters in Season 7 in Guilty Gear. And a lot of people have been rating Milia as one of the best. I do agree that Milia's card quality is really something else. Like, insane character. I have not played enough Potemkin to determine whether Potemkin would be the worst character in Season 7. But I can tell you Milia is definitely up there. We've seen both these... nice. We've seen both these characters before. Potemkin, of course, the grappler that wants to be at range 1, gets additional stats at range 1. Milia, of course, the queen of good card quality, above curving nor armor. Swing Braid, good card. Tandem Top, good card. Iron Savior, 1-5 sweep. Septum Voices above curve. +1 speed boost. Good boost here as well, just in case the card was so good. But yeah, let's see how this one goes. I will say I have been seeing Potemkin struggle a little bit into other characters, but maybe Teketria can find the secret sauce against Andarel's Milia. Although Andarel's Milia looked really good last week. Did Teketria play Potemkin last week? I can't remember. Anyway, we are off. It's going to be Teketria boosting character cancel, close 1, draw 1. Milia going to be initiating a strike. Range 3 mix up here for Milia, looks like. Assault dive, spike, sweep. Sorry, slash, dive, dust, sweep. It's going to be the assault. Assault will go first, hit for 4. The heat knuckle will not be stunned and will hit for 5. We'll push Milia back to range 4. It's definitely not the place to be if you're Milia, if you're a Potemkin, but Potemkin definitely prefers opponents a little bit closer than that. Milia just preps. It's going to be the Let's Rock booster for Potemkin. So Potemkin does have multiple range 4 options that hit. Cards like Hammerfall, cards like Slidehead. Notably 0 damage, but moves Potemkin in. Hammerfall 2 damage, but has close 3 on it. And then, of course, just the classic dive. But it's going to be Milia initiating another strike here at range 4. Wouldn't be surprised if it's something like the Tandem Top. It could, like, Swing Braid is an above curve dive like here, but I think it's going to be the Tandem Top, which avoids most counterattacks with the after we may advance or retreat too. Just kind of deny Potemkin that gauge. Pretty important. Although you do corner yourself. It's going to be Teketria playing Focus. And yeah, it's the Tandem Top just as we predicted. It's going to be 1 damage incoming to Potemkin. Will not be stunned, will draw a card, but will not build gauge. Andarel also draws 2 cards, and it's perfectly happy staying in range 4 here, for sure. And changes his mind, goes to range 5. Again, Milia does have the Iron Savior, which functions as essentially a 1-5 sweep at this range. It's going to be Teketria boosting the Burly Heart, which gives you different bonuses based on who initiates the strike. So it's like going to be +2 power or +3 armor. Has a little bit of a close 1 on it as well. Which means those range 4 options that we saw earlier are now in play for Potemkin. Notably, Potemkin does have a lot of armor, but it's important to note that Milia has an above curve ignore armor option in the Bad Moon card to look out for here. Not just yet, but maybe later as the matchup develops. So Andarel looks like he's going to boost something, although takes it back. Takes it back again. Boosts it a third time in his hand. And plays it. It's going to be the area shift, pulling Potemkin closer into a badass cancel strike. I wonder if this is Spike. Notably, Potemkin has +3 armor to deal with this strike. Oh no, wait, it's Bad Moon. Wait, it's just an above curve Bad Moon, isn't it? 1 to 2, 5, 7, ignore armor. Just totally mitigate the boost. Wow. And the thing is, you can't even play. And the thing is, if you're Teketria, do you have the guts to play something like Sweep and get spiked in return? Because I mean, because the Telegraph is the Bad Moon, but this could just be Spike as well for Milia. It's a lot of resources. I think it's probably the Bad Moon, though. It's a lot of resources spent for Andarel. I think he wants guaranteed value, right? He spent 2 gauge off that engagement, pulled Potemkin closer, and then probably wants to advance out of the corner, is my guess. For why this would be Bad Moon over Spike. Although, hey, you never know. You never know. It could always be the Spike. Excuse me, the Dust. And it's gonna take so long for me to get used to that, saying slash and dust instead of assault and spike. I've been really bad at doing that. So if you are someone coming through with the Guilty Gear Strive the board game sets and not someone familiar with older Seasons of Exceed, I do apologize. When I say assault, I mean slash, and when I say spike, I mean dust. The ignore guard, ignore armor, normal, the yellow one. Maybe I'll just start referring to them by their shapes or their colors instead. Okay, it's going to be Teketria playing the sweep, and it's the dust. Oh, no. Oh, no. Big boy dust from Andarel. Hits Potemkin for 5, stuns out the sweep. Under the guise of a Bad Moon. It's gonna be Milia playing Dust. Milia, of course, gets her UA as well. If the opponent's stunned, she may draw 1 or move 2. Milia chooses to draw 1, and it's gonna be Potemkin performing the area shift, cancels, and initiates a strike at range 1, so has a little bit extra power and armor. It's going to be just Teketria playing Assault, or Slash, excuse me. 3 damage, and the focus will hit back for 3 as well. Of course, Milia did stun out the slash in the end, so gets to move 2 and chooses to retreat 2 back to range 3. Oh, it's going to be Potemkin initiating another strike here. I wonder if this is below curve. Could be Gigantor Kai or something, but we've just seen, I think both slashes are down for Potemkin, if I'm not mistaken. So, something to consider there. It's just gonna be Milia attempting a wild swing. That's gonna be the Mega Fist, which is the assault like that Potemkin has. Draws him 2 cards and advances him to range 1. Milia takes 3. Milia, however, is not stunned, so can choose to move 2 and chooses to retreat 2. Okay, it's going to be Milia actually boosting the Bad Moon in the form of Lush Shaker. So it's now draw 1, hit, spend up to 3 force. For each force spent, +1 power and push 1. I believe it was cancelled as well. And yeah, into a strike here for Milia. So this is threatening +3 power. I can't believe they gave Milia a +3 power boost. I cannot believe they did that. That's pretty spicy. Could just be 7 power Salt. Could be 7 power Bad Moon. It's going to be, ooh, Potemkin able to cross out of that. Milia just playing Slash at speed 5. Not fast enough Potemkin's second cross at speed 6 will get out of there just fine, and that's pretty big because Milia spent a bad moon on that and got 0 value. Or got very little value, but basically 0 value. Anyway, it's going to be prep for Milia. I think it was prep for Potemkin, prep for Milia into the faultless defense for... Excuse me, for Potemkin. Could be Milia initiating a strike here at range 4. Notably, both tandem tops are down. So it could be Iron Savior, or it could be Bates, or it could be Dive. And it's actually going to be Bates. That's going to be the focus, just played by Andarel. So the slide head will go first. We'll hit for nothing, obviously, as 0 power. Focus will hit back for 3. Andarel will discard a card at random, and we'll draw a card off the focus. So Potemkin takes 3 damage, but is able to move into a closer range. Andarel builds gauge number 2. Potemkin has gauge number 4. Now his Heavenly Potemkin Buster is online. It's going to be Milia initiating a strike here at range 2. Is this cross? It is cross. Heat Knuckle will not catch the cross. So the cross will go first. Wait, what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, there we go. Heat Knuckle will make... Heat Knuckle will not hit. Yeah. So cross will put Milia back at range 5. Heat Knuckle will pull Milia to range 3, but Heat Knuckle only hits 1 or 2, so misses. It's going to be a prep for Potemkin, prep back for Milia. Milia with an early life lead here as well, 19 to 10. Notably, this is a position where the Heavenly Potemkin Buster would hit. Unlikely to hit, but would hit. It's going to be badass boosted here. Gets teched. Back to Potemkin here. Is Potemkin just going to initiate a strike? Oh, it's going to be Scramble Cancel. No, it can't be the Heavenly Potemkin Buster. Oh no, Potemkin goes for Dive, Milia, Wild Swings, and Septum Voices. And that is going to be an on-curve option that beats the undercurve Dive. Oh no, things go from bad to worse for Potemkin here. Oh no, that's so bad. Potemkin gets pushed to range 4 as well. Milia gets to choose her range or draw even more cards. Wow. Four damage incoming. Milia is now 1 combat and 1 bad moon away from winning the game. Wow, that is unfortunate. Absolutely unfortunate here for Potemkin. Anyway, I believe it is Andarel's turn. Andarel just chooses what range to be at with the after here. Okay, it's actually going to be Andarel boosting the second copy of Lust Shaker. Cancels it. So now has up to +3 power on his strike. Interesting to see Andarel use these as Lust Shaker instead of Bad Moon. Because Bad Moon is guaranteed. I mean, Lust Shaker just has a really high upside. But Bad Moon is just free damage. So it's interesting to see him go for that route. And it's going to be Big Boy Sweep incoming. Ooh, and Teketria gets a second block yoinked. This is going to be up to 9 total power incoming, depending on how much force Milia wants to spend. Looks like at least 2 force there. And Teketria says, don't need a hand where we're going. I'm just going to discard it and take no damage. Of course, Potemkin has to prep back up. Back to Milia here. Notably, Teketria saving with a 4 gauge for the Heavenly Potemkin Buster. I don't think it's going to hit, but he's saving the gauge for it. Actually, Potemkin Buster does trade with Septum Voices here, technically, in this position. But it's going to be the Let's Rock boosted for Milia. to be Potemkin just initiating a range 4 strike, just swinging here. Again, Septum Voices does trade with the Potemkin Buster. Tandem tops are down for Milia. Iron Savior is a pretty good option here for Milia, I think. Iron Savior doesn't lose to Heavenly Potemkin Buster. Do you think Teketria would really swing with the Heavenly Potemkin Buster here? Just go for it. I mean, down 19-6. Not a whole lot to live for. Already lost a set. Would you swing with it here if you're Teketria? The answer is yes. Unfortunately, Swing Braid goes first. Will hit for 3. The Heavenly Potemkin Buster will dance over Milia, and yeah, we'll hit for 4. Excuse me. With the Let's Rock, Heavenly Potemkin Buster flies over Milia, and will miss. And that is gonna be that's curtains. Yeah, there you go. That's what I pointed out. I think. This card beats the HPB, as do most of Milia's options, outside of Septum Voices. Anyway, it's going to be +1 speed, now strike. 8 speed, low kick. We'll finish it off against the Wild Swing Spike. That's going to be a 3-0 win for Andarel over Teketria in pretty dominating fashion. The Gold Lewis versus Soul was definitely a match of resources that Gold Lewis was able to win. Second match, Propeller versus Leo, was definitely a match where Propeller was able to counterattack against Leo's big swings, but Leo was not able to counterattack Propeller strikes. And then Game 3, as we just saw here with the Milia over Potemkin. Once again, this match didn't really matter, but they just played it out for fun. Is a 2-0 win for Andarel, moves to 2-0 in the bracket. Teketria drops down to 1-1. But anyways, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's the CPAT here. If you like what you saw on Twitch, leave a follow. I think I actually might hit affiliate today. I don't know what it means, but I'm going to hit affiliate today, I think. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you for the next one, whenever that may be. But until then, guys, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.